Tennessee football, and we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and the Vol Nation out there. We all have things that we ought to be very thankful for, and I think that's important. It's early in the week, and we have, we had a good week so far. We've got some things today, obviously, we need to keep working towards. And when you look at how you prepare from first and second downs to your third downs, your red zone. So as we continue, we'll get a little bit further along. We want to be competitive in everything we do, and that means a lot in this program. That means the guys who are equipment managers and do that, we want them to be competitive. We want them to be the best. The student who's up there in the tower filming, we want them to be competitive. We want them to be the best. And that's what we've talked about. Life is competition and everything. And I probably have said that before in these last 2 weeks, but it's something that I believe, and I think life lessons that we can teach these guys through the game of football is one reason why you coach. As far as the in-state rivalry in this game, talked about it earlier, we have 22 seniors that are going to play their last game in Neyland Stadium. I think that's significant, and hopefully there'll be a nice group of people to honor them for everything that they've done for Tennessee football. As most of you know, this is quite the commitment at any level, but they've been committed and they've done a nice job representing Tennessee. Vanderbilt, like all teams, they're going to pose some problems, both on offense and defense. Last year, we didn't finish the game the way we'd like to have. Down in Nashville, gave up too many yards, 608 yards, and 416 yards passing by Kyle Shermer. I think he's a very good quarterback. I think he has a lot of things that he does awfully well, and I really believe they have playmakers on both sides of the football. As you watch them play, they play with good effort and with a toughness to them.
Questions? Steve?
Brady, in regard to your offensive line, how many will you have back? How many scholarship offensive linemen do you think you'll have for this game?
Well, we'll see. Again, it's early in the week. There's still some guys that, are getting healthier, which is a positive, and we'll just see how healthy they get.
Steve, you talked about Shermer, saying there's some things he does very well. Specifically, what do you like in him? What does he do effectively?
I think his timing, from a quarterback standpoint, when you look at routes and you look at what they're doing and trying to concepts in the passing game, number one, I think he's a smart quarterback. I think I don't want to use the word manage, but he is very efficient with what they want to do. And then I think the timing that he has with his receivers.
Austin?
Brady, 2 questions. I know you didn't lead the team out to the tee last Saturday, but will you be the one there to greet them, the seniors that come through for the final time on Saturday? And then 2, Brett Kendrick, if he's able to play and cleared to play, does he go right back into the starting rotation, or is that something? Because I know you talked about it, this being the last 2 games for this group of seniors.
Sure. There's no question that I will be in the tunnel, with those seniors as they're recognized. I think it's important, and I did the same thing at Michigan. I think it's the game is played and meant for those kids. So the players always like the seniors to lead the team because that's the expectation that we all have. As far as the question on Brent, we'll just see how things play out.
Vince?
Coach, how do you balance playing the seniors, playing the guys that have played most of the season, and maybe trying to take a look at some of the young players to see, what their future might be if they haven't played as much to this point?
Well, I think we're at the point, Vince, that, number one, you know, for those guys playing their last game at Neyland Stadium, I think that's pretty special and pretty important. I also believe that, right now, we're playing a lot of young guys. And a lot of those guys are having the opportunities to go play and get valuable experience.
Next question. Lee?
Brady, have two quarterbacks, Jarrett and Will, looked so far this week?
Well, I think they both, you know, have done a good job. You know, like I said, it's early. It's early in the week. We've got some situation football that the next 2 days we gotta compete through. So, but both of them have done a good job.
Jimmy and Austin.
Already, I know it's early in the week, but have you seen any difference in the response of the players in practice this week versus last week?
I'll be honest with you, Jimmy. I really like how they responded even last week. You know, once we got through Monday and got into Tuesday, talked about the competition, talked about what we believe we have to do as a team, game plan wise, philosophically, to help us win. There was a lot of guys, and I don't particularly like the word buy-in, but they were focused, they were engaged, and they were competitive.
Austin.
Brady, you may have addressed this before, but I don't remember you saying anything about it. Whoever Tennessee hires, is your preference to be here again next year if that person wants you back?
Well, I would say this, Austin, right now, Vanderbilt's the key, playing the in-state rival, our 22 seniors.
Patrick.
Brady, just from a scheduling standpoint, what's the itinerary for tomorrow? What is the team going to do? Are you guys kind of having Thanksgiving dinner together? Is it going to be players' families' houses?
We're going to practice in the morning, and then we're going to have Thanksgiving together. And well, I think right now we have over 400 people coming because we've invited all the parents and anyone who's going to be in town. We want to have them, and we're going to, be thankful for what we all have, and it gives an opportunity for those who possibly couldn't get somewhere for Thanksgiving to have it with their team. And I really believe it's part of being a football team. As a head coach, I've done this everywhere I've been, and so it's something that I think will be special.
How many turkeys is that going to require?
Well, the good thing is I'm not cooking, so it will be enough, I imagine.
Danny.
Coach, you've talked about the seniors for a couple of weeks now. There's such a finality to this sport. Most of these guys will not play in the NFL.
Correct.
How tough is that for these athletes in this specific sport where you'll probably never put on pads again the rest of your life after Saturday for some of these guys?
It really, and you can, I go back on my own personal memories, playing that last game. And it's a game that I remember to this day. And for those guys, there's a lot of emotion, especially ending your season here at home. And so, it's something that we've talked about quite a bit in the last 2 weeks. Met with the seniors probably 3 out of the last 5 days, and talked about it and thanked them for what they've done for Tennessee football.
Jimmy.
Brady, how good is route web? And secondly, why do you think Tennessee has struggled at times this year South Carolina?
Well, I answer the second question first. And it comes down to playing great defense is playing 11 guys, and 11 guys doing their job. And some of the problems that we've had, especially in the running game now and then, have been one guy not holding the gap integrity, one guy not leveraging the defense. I thought we tackled well last week. And a lot of that was, I think we did a better job. We had 2 occasions that come to mind where our gap integrity and the edges weren't set as well as we'd like them to be, but we gang tackled better because people knew where their help, the strengths and weaknesses that each defense has, and knowing where the help is and where to turn the ball back to, and the cavalry coming, and all those kind of things.
Rafael.
4,000-yard rusher, right? That's pretty special. And he's a guy that pretty impressive when you watch him on tape and how he makes, and he's patient, and he makes the offensive line even better because of that patience.
Yes.
Coach, can you touch on some of the defensive linemen that maybe haven't had a chance to play as much, and what their future might be since they maybe haven't been able to get on the field as much?
Well, I think all those young guys in that class, Crosby, I've liked his demeanor. I've liked how, I think he came in at 345. He's down to 310. I would be excited for him. I think Kavan, we've played a little bit this year. DeAndre, I think Ryan Thaxton, if he keeps progressing in a lot of ways, I'm excited about him. So those guys, Matt Butler obviously is playing some. I think he'll have a very good career. And you say that, and you base that on a lot of things, and you base it on how much they're into football, how much they love the play, and how important it is. And for those guys I mentioned, I think you'll find out more how important it is. But DeAndre and Matt, the 2 who have played some, it's pretty important.
Jesse, and then in the back.
Brady, just to update us on the status of Richmond and Robertson, just kind of where they're at this point in the week.
Well, it's early, so we'll see what happens.
And then second, I figured that. I had to get it on the record, figured. Secondly, there's some guys on the team, obviously, that are thinking about possibly moving on to the NFL next year. Have you had any conversations with some of those players this week just about how to approach this game and kind of focusing on the here and now versus the future?
I haven't, but I the way we've practiced the last 2 weeks, you would think somebody's got that thought of holding back, and I think that's what you were getting at, and trying to, you wouldn't see that.
Coach, seeing that you haven't been here as long as some of the other coaches on staff, how would you describe your personal relationship with these seniors? And then if you would, go ahead and let me know your favorite side dish for Thanksgiving.
It's a good question. That one I'll have to think about. Being a defensive line coach, here, and I think, you have your own personality. I think there's a number of those guys. I'm very fortunate, Coach Kendall Vickers, and he hears the messaging, and he's been a great leader for our football team. And when this opportunity, happened, I think he's been a guy who I don't know what the right word is, but he knows. He's been all in. Side dish, you go right for the pumpkin pie. I don't know if that's a side or not. Sounds good.
Marshall.
I'll tell you, date nut pudding is not bad either. If you've never had that, that's pretty good. I have an aunt who made that. Pretty good.
Hey, Coach, through the struggles this season, have you been able to see anything out of this team, through the losses? It's one thing to see something from a team from wins, but do you think losses has made this team, learn something, not just as players, but as people?
Well, I think you always learn. Win or lose, you better be learning. You better be evaluating the good and the bad. And, the lessons that you learn, because each week you have to get ready, whether you won or you lost. And I think most coaches will tell you it's always a little easier teaching from coming off a win. But I think the guys on this team, again, I was not in every meeting, you know, and I was coaching the D-line, but I think they've done a nice job and responded well.
Final question, Austin.
Brady, I know you talked about the seniors. Jack Jones is going to go through the team for the final time, having retired. Just talk about what the thinking behind that, of letting a kid that's not a senior go through and all that.
Well, you know, Austin, I think he's been a big part of this football team for a number of years, and he's dedicated himself to, you know, Tennessee, the work ethic. Jack proved himself with the toughness that he has because he, you know, he kept pushing forward and kept playing, and then it came a point where, you know, it was time for him to retire. And you feel for a guy who Jack truly, in a lot of ways to me, really enjoyed playing the game.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you
very
all.
much.
Yep, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.